Hello, we're going to talk about manners, etiquette, and social class. So let's look at my PowerPoint first of all, and then I hope I'm going to show you a bit of YouTube with somebody who's a professional coach training people in good manners. A culture clash, Southern English upper class versus Northern Irish working class culture. There are some weird social rules. Nowadays, the ideas about social class have changed a lot, but the British are still quite snobbish about class. To be a snob means to think that you're better than other people because of your class or because of how you behave. And so here in the video, we're going to see William with Sharon and Sharon's children. William goes to try to help Sharon to teach good manners to her children. And the other guy here is a comedian, and he's coming alongside to help William. Before we hit the video, I've got one or two problems for you. On the next slide, which option do you think is more middle class? Do you drink out of a cup or a mug? Do you call this a sofa or a settee? Do you say, I'm going to the lavatory or loo, or I'm going to the toilet? Do you call this a napkin or a serviette? This thing for cleaning your face, which is correct, keeping your knife and fork in the middle of the plate together or crossed and far apart when you finish the meal. Drinking wine or drinking beer, or indeed creme de menthe, cocktail. In the slides before, the choice on the left-hand side, the first option, would probably be considered more middle class by most British people. Nowadays, the ideas about social class have changed a lot, but the British are still quite snobbish about class. Ellen was always in between because she was raised, this is me, by a single mum. I learned to act and speak like the middle class, but most of the school friends were not allowed to visit me at home because I lived in a tenement building on the 5th floor, not in a detached house. And mum didn't have a car, so I wasn't able to join any of the evening parties by car. My family was a bit unusual. My grandmother lived in a house share with two others, and they shared a very large house. After one of my classmates discovered this, she was then allowed to visit me, and her parents allowed her to visit us in the 5th floor apartment, possibly because they knew my grandmother had a bigger house. Another classmate visited my 5th floor apartment just one time, and after that, she was not allowed to visit my apartment, but I was allowed to visit her apartment because it was a more posh apartment. And we continued to be friends and go to ballet together. So some people are prouder to be working class because it means they are doing something useful. They're normal. They're not wasting their time. But social privilege, giving the advantage to people from the upper class, is still quite normal for professions like a doctor or a lawyer. They will get respect. And also to people whose families have been rich from former times. It is almost unconscious. People may not like to talk about it. And indeed, because lack of social equality, I see it as an unfair thing. And so I don't really like to talk about it either. Since about 2014, the UK had a Conservative government, and the effort to increase social equality, to make society more fair, has been less than before. Etiquette is a French word meaning how to behave politely. Some people pay a coach to teach them etiquette. William Hanson is a coach who does this as a job. Let's watch him as he goes to visit a family in Northern Ireland. He was asked to help the children to be more polite, but first he has to get along with the mother. He says that she is rude. Why? Let's go stop screen sharing here. And are we recording? Yes, we are. So we've got to escape and let's try finding YouTube now. Hopefully you can also watch the YouTube video from name of this video is Putting Manners on Us. Putting Manners on Us. And it's a kind of a joke, it's a kind of a pun, because putting manners on someone means to gesture as if you are about to start boxing. So they have a laugh about it as well. And you'll see him with the comedian Jake O'Kane. Let's see if that's.
They say manners make it fun.
You don't know, that's very negative body language, remember?
Why? Why? Are you serious?
Definitely serious.
The hard as you can. Oh, and good manners cost nothing. Dare you?
Please, can I have the ball?
And like any good host, Sharon is quick to offer a cup of tea to her guest.
Sharon, can I be a complete frightful bore here? Is there any chance, as lovely as that mug is, I could have a cup of saucer, please? I've just got a real hang-up about mugs.
Do you know what? Do you not find that a bit rude coming into somebody's house and asking like for a cup of saucer if they're offering you a tea and a mug? And their best a tiny mug. Oh my god.
Yes, and if we weren't on the terms that we were on, I would have said nothing.
Might be a bit dusty, that and usually right.
All right.
Okay, let's pause again then. And so he's come to her house, he's a guest, and he's asking her if he can have a cup. And she says, I think that's a bit rude. And I agree with her. And then he says, well, if we weren't on the terms that we are on, and if we weren't on the terms that we are on, is trying to say we are on good terms, we are friends. And because we are friends, I feel I can ask you for a cup. And he also says, I have a hang up. A hang up is like a psychological problem. So he tries to make it look as if it's just his own peculiarity. But in fact, he's trying to train her to use a cup. So I don't know what you think about that. And I don't know if you think his manners are making life better. Please watch to the end of the video as homework. And I think you'll find it interesting to see how the boy's behavior changes and also how William is a good sport. At the end, he does actually go and try playing hockey with the boys. He's really terrible at hockey. So it's not as if he's not trying to change himself a little bit as well. And one of the interesting bits is that he also, I'm trying to share my screen again now. He also shows the boys how to lay the table. So he's trying to teach them how to behave at the table and also how to put the cutlery on the table.
Setting the table. William is keen to show the wannabe knight thrower the error of his ways.
Johnny?
Yes, sure.
Right, now, would you like to learn how to set a table properly?
Yeah.
He's ecstatic emotion.
You put, first of all, before you put any piece of cutlery there, you put your plate. And the plate is obviously in line with the middle of the chair. It's ever so slightly back. Having a finger there, okay? Put the sharp edge facing inwards to show that we were civil. We weren't using it as a weapon. Do you know you get a little plate here? That's your bread plate.
Yeah.
So that goes on the left and the glass goes on the right. So you're going to have a go at setting this. And later on, in a few days' time, you're going to teach your brothers how to do this, okay? And try and have a big smile on your face when you're doing this, Johnny. This is the best thing you've done all day. Well, this one, there's a nice pattern on that, Johnny. So yeah, have the pattern facing the diamond.
A picture perfect setting. Well done, Johnny.
Are you going to share this on Facebook?
No.
Of course not.
So,
The familiar call to dine heard all over the country.
so I recommend take a bit of time to watch the video, and we're also going to try the table setting challenge. So now have a look at the instructions, and for the table setting challenge, what I want you to do is divide into a team where you've got 3 or 4 people and one person is the waiter. But the waiter, you are a robot. You are only allowed to move if the other guys instruct you what to do. So the 3 people, you must read the paper and tell them where to put the different pieces of cutlery. And if you can't understand, then you need to say, hey, say that again. Can you repeat that, please? Please speak very politely with each other. And the other challenge is, I want you to stand far away. So the person who is the waiter, you are only doing what you hear the others tell you to do. And you must be standing about 3 or 4 meters away from the guys who have the instructions. You can download the instructions from Moodle now, and let's try the table laying challenge. I think we should try to lay the table as it would be for a 3-course meal, and good luck. So you need a soup spoon, a dessert spoon, a dessert fork, a knife, a fish knife, a butter knife, a teaspoon. I think those are about the 7 things that you should have. And if you don't have enough cutlery, then just use a pen and go, this is a spoon, this is a fork. But you need to decide beforehand what your things are. So check the list again, and good luck. And time yourself, because we're going to try and do this as a competition. So there should be some kind of kudos or prize for the fastest team. See you later. And also remember to let me know, what do you think about William's manners training? Is it fun? Is it unnecessary? What kind of people would want to have manners like this? Is it superficial? I feel a little superficial, but also it's an interesting way to observe the clash, the difference between different people's class and culture. Oh, I've now lost room.